Welcome to the SwimSwam podcast. I'm your host, Coleman Hodges. Joining us today, she was just announced as the new head coach at the University of Southern California. Today, we are talking to, take note on the pronunciation, Lea Maurer. Lea, how's it going?
Going very well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Obviously, very exciting news. It's been a season for you. I'm sure we can talk about that in a little bit. But as for this hire, what does it mean to you? And were you pretty sure you were going to get this right off the bat?
Absolutely not. I don't know. I read SwimSwam and, obviously it was intense to be at NC2As just for the experience of coaching at NC2As. And I'm not usually someone who's the talk of the town, but that was the question for 2 weeks straight is what's happening. And I didn't have any good answer or any good intel on that, but I'm really fact-based, and as coaches we always try and encourage the athletes to focus on staying present and be where your feet are. And so luckily I've been able to really practice that this year, and it served me well in this process for sure.
So I'm just curious, and obviously you can divulge as much as you want, but obviously NCAA's ends and you were the interim head coach. And then what was it? 2 weeks later, you were announced as the head coach. What was the process like of the in-between?
I think it was a whirlwind. I always disclose too much, so I'm going to try and be a little careful here. I think my approach was to be who I am as a coach. So unadulteratedly, I think the biggest piece of that puzzle is that character is a huge part of my rubric for a program that I'm a part of. And when I was the interim head coach, that was probably the first point of action. And so in the process, I felt very good when I was talking to the administration about you will know the package that you would be signing on for. And then I think it's a question of, is this the package you want? And I think through the interview process, that was the most exciting piece for me, was that the university and the athletes are excited about kind of this new culture approach, and I'm committed to it, and anyone who's moving forward, including the administration, is really on board for that change, I guess.
Yeah. So moving forward, what is the vision? Can you talk to me a little bit about that culture change that you're hoping to instill?
Yeah, so I don't think it's a secret that there aren't that many positive acronyms for USC. If anyone knows them, I'd love to be invited into populating them. But for me, when I was given the job, the U is going to stand for us. We're going to be, the team focus is going to be the primary focus. It's the paramount focus. And obviously we want to meet individual goals, but team is the most important piece of our culture. And then the S, as you know, I'm very story based. So I feel as if the better stories we have and the better relationships we build, that the better swimmers we will become. And then C is character, that it's going to be important that people help with lane lines and our area is clean. And I really like that the people checking the badges started doing fight on, because our team was really engaging with them and thankful for their time, and that is important to me. And I love that people at Georgia Tech left shouting fight on. That's important.
Oh, sorry. You meant Trojans. I thought you meant like just like people who were like spectators or like other athletes. And I was like, what? No way. But
Yeah,
okay.
no, but the badge checkers and the people doing the hallway, we won them over. We were their most their favorite team, and they were doing the fight on better than me, so I was pretty excited.
That is really exciting. And obviously your first win as a head coach at USC. That's great. So let's talk about a little bit about that season. Obviously, you were just kind of thrown into this position. Culturally, how do you deal with something like that where you're just thrown in mid-season? You were obviously with the team before that, but now the team is looking to you for the utmost of leadership. How did you deal with that?
I think for me, swimming it was such a sacred space for me. It was really empowering, and obviously, it was a sad circumstance that I took over, and I acknowledged that. And my first day, I acknowledged that Jeremy is, a father and a husband, and he's in a tough situation. So let's acknowledge that and have space for grace for that. And then, let's acknowledge that there are people on this team who have some hurt feelings or disappointing experiences, and acknowledge that also. And so where do we go from that? How do we rebuild and join together in a meaningful way, and also pursue our dreams in the pool? And we declared the pool kind of a clean space, that there was no room for anything but chasing down your dreams and being your best self, and helping each other to do that. And I felt as if, I hope I can stay grounded, but this year it was really important that every day I came in, and it was a little like Groundhog Day. You wake up and it's a very similar circumstance, and you do the best you can, and you repeat it the next day, and you try and do it just incrementally better. And we did a fantastic job of that this year. And I think that's magical if you can do it. And we did do it this year as a group. And that was the strength of our program, I think.
Mm-hmm. And just to build on that a little, can you talk to me about Pac-12's, NCAA's meets that you have experience coaching at, but obviously this time around a little different, right?
Yes. I love those two meets, and I love NC2As at a level that I think I'm a little concerned about, because as I watched it this year, I just recognized that it makes mortals out of even superhuman people. But I love the meet. So I just kept just channeling that. I mean, there's always ebb and flow. It is treacherous. I don't know what it is about me, but I love it. I love the being in a hunt for just points that, 1 point makes a difference. And, all my mantras were coming to life, where I warned them about it and it was happening. And they kind of joke where I'm rather spiritual and not everyone is. And they're like, but there's something about you that we're becoming believers in some energy that you conjure. Because it was like I could foresee the future, and probably every coach, but my predictions were more spot on and timely. So I think that provided an element of humor and maybe gave me a little more credibility as we went. But I thought we handled the pressure very well. And the thing I was most proud of was that the athletes were more authentic in their approach, where I think sometimes people feel as if at the championship meet, you need to look a certain way or behave a certain way. And it's not, it's a little disingenuous where they're just trying to force it to happen. And I love that we were ourselves as we approached the block. And for me, that's a beautiful thing, because I want the sport to be their own. It's their power, it's their gift, and it's their race. And I love that as the season evolved, they were able to be kind of their personality was showing through, and in an appropriate and proud way.
So in terms of foresights and predictions, I have to ask, what did you see in your crystal ball for Kaitlyn Dobler at NCAAs?
I mean, they'll talk all the time about how I believe in willing people to the wall. And I had a certain spot that I like to stand in that I thought was lucky. I took my shoes off. I put one leg on the middle. I have a little bit of superstition going. And everyone was in the spot. And, you know, on the last 25, I was like, we're going to will her in. It was centimeters. And they were like, but she is someone who does things right every day, and everyone would be connected to her and she would be connected to us. And so it was just a really happy moment. And obviously winning is always beautiful, but everyone felt a part of it. And obviously Kaitlyn shares that with us, and that's her gift. And yeah, I mean, that was going to be inches, and that was just a fun one. But yeah, we had like a little process going before to kind of ensure that our will was effectively allotted to her.
God, this vernacular you're throwing out is just
Sorry.
making my day. It's awesome. I love it. So, you know, you have this up and down season, as you said, and then it's kind of capped off with an NCAA champion, which is pretty incredible. That no one saw coming. SwimSwam certainly didn't see it coming.
I know, but that's okay. That's okay. We're happy to be the dark horse. We'll take it.
That was an awesome race to watch and just to be in the venue for. And now you go from interim to head coach. So when I talked to you last time, which was a couple of years ago, it was right when you had started at USC. You know, you talked about being ready to step away from coaching when you had left Stanford, and now you're back in this head coach position. Do you feel ready for this kind of head coach position again?
Yes. It's kind of this amazing success story. So many people in my life who supported me through that really challenging decision. And I hope I can help. I hope the world has progressed, and I hope I can help women navigate that more successfully than I was able to navigate it. It's challenging, you know, being a woman and having children and raising children to be confident and passionate young men, you know, who behave well is a challenge. But you know, I don't know if I shared, but yeah, I started coaching back when COVID, and it was no secret that I love coaching. It is my dream job. And my kids joke, because I talk about retirement, and they said, don't, you may be Eddie. You know, Eddie's joke is, I'm going to die on the deck. And they're like, you might be Eddie part 2. I mean, seriously, stop talking. But it is magical that I feel as if I made a very thoughtful and challenging choice, but one that I felt really good about morally. And then to have it come, I could not have anticipated that I had a shot to return to a program and possibly as a professional have the opportunity to lead a team. You know, ultimately I'd love to win a national championship, and to do it with men and women. It's just, it blows my mind, but it's absolutely, if you had asked me, is there another dream job? I don't think I could have come up with one, but I've landed in one. This is a dream job, and I'm really hoping I can see my dream come to fruition, but it was not something that I could have imagined coming full circle this quickly, I guess.
Yeah. So a little more of the day-to-day questions. You said you had morning practice this morning. What's your schedule look like now, especially now that the season's over? What's Trojan training like?
Yeah, Trojan Training. That's a really good question. We are really trying to invite people into the voluntary hours, and that is where we are. But they know Trojan Training, we're going to work. So on the change of culture, we work. We are voluntarily in the weight room more. My takeaway from NC2As this year is athletes are stronger, more athletic. So we're going to be in the weight room 5 days a week. And we're going to be doing, we'll be doing really exciting stuff. But right now we are making friends with long course. And I'm inviting more people to be doing what the best in the country are doing. And it's just an invitation, but that's what we're doing.
All right. I love it. A couple last questions. When I went to USC, I think it was 2018 in this fall of 2018, I went to a beach practice. Are there still going to be beach practices?
We're going to put a pause on the beach practices. I don't know if that's going to hurt my recruiting, but I want people to know I'm really transparent. I may be the most honest coach on the deck, and they can go to the beach after practice. That's totally available to them. But yeah, we're going to work hard, and I think we're going to have, a 5-year plan where I want them to have career plans after. We're going to have a sense of humor. But I want people, when they come to visit, know what they're getting into, and our Saturdays are going to be bangers.
All right. Well, now I want to come on a Saturday, even if you're not on the beach.
And then I'll bring you to the beach after, because it's important. It's not far away. It's not far away.
Done and done. Okay. I have to ask, your oldest son, Luke, is at Stanford. You and your husband are both Stanford alums. Are you going to get Rex to come down to SC?
That's an excellent question. They may divorce me because I didn't do this where they can have cameo appearances. I may have to bargain where we have a show again with them on it. I am not that parent. I think that is the $1 million question, but I have raised very strong, independent young men, and where Rex goes to school is 100% his decision. And I'm his mom. So I'm going to support that process.
Swim parents, especially the coaches, take note. Lea Maurer coming in with the parental wisdom. All right, Lea, it's always great talking to you. Thank you so much for your time. Any parting thoughts before we sign off today?
I just have to give a shout out to Anne from SwimSwam, who basically helped me to continue. Her family has been incredible. You put me in contact with her to do the shout out for John Branchek. And I don't know, we must have been soulmates in another life, but any coach who's successful, there are people who rise up and help them with little tasks and little affirmations. So in the SwimSwam family, she has been someone who secretly has definitely done little things to help me stay afloat during this interim. So I have to give her a thank you.
You've been listening to the SwimSwam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.